or like, you know, when I talk, it sounds a little funky. It's fine. I got 1 month left, and then my interviews won't have no more. Hi. Oh, all right, she's here. All right, give me 1 minute. All right, we're waiting for her to accept. It is awkward sitting and talking to yourself. Even though I'm not talking to myself, it's like talking to yourself. It's a little strange. I also teach online, and that's weird too because I do the same thing where I'm talking and they're responding via message. It's like slower and you have to wait. It's a little bit awkward. But we'll get this kicked off in a minute. Hi.
Hey, how are you?
Good.
Like half of my head is cut off. Okay.
I know. And
I should have backed up a little bit.
hold in the camera.
Hey,
How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. If we hear a baby screaming in the background, please don't get alarmed. It's my kid.
It's fine.
All right. Well, let's get this started. Just want to get to know, like, how about you introduce yourself? Let people know, because most people probably already know who you are in here because they're excited to see the interview with you. But just let them know where you're from. I already know, but go ahead.
Yes, thank you for having me. I love your page, and I'm very grateful for your page because there's no other page that represents Black abstract artists. Like, we don't have a page. So when I found it, I was like, ooh, you know, so I was really happy. I want to thank you for creating the platform. There's maybe one or two other pages that I see that represent us, but not specifically abstract. So thank you for that. I'm Blanche Eden. I'm from Brooklyn. I was born and raised in New York, in Brooklyn, and I'm very proud.
I'm a Bronx girl.
Huh?
I'm a Bronx girl. I was born and raised in the Bronx. Yeah, now I live in Chicago, but
okay.
All right, but Brooklyn's cool. Brooklyn's cool.
Yeah, Bronx is cool. Like, I never really went to the Bronx like growing up. It was like far away from us. It was
Yeah. Like, I had friends in high school. We went to high school in Manhattan, and whenever we'd have to go visit, it's like a 2-hour commute. I'm like,
it's really far. It's like another state.
Like,
Never did.
Me here more than he's come to visit me in the Bronx because he was in Brooklyn. It was too far.
Right, but I love all of New York City. So we're all the same in some way, shape, or form. So there's all love.
So let's talk about New York, though. How do you think that influences your work? Because I notice you have a lot of layers. It's just a lot of action going on, a lot of movement, which is very New York. Do you think that influences your style at all?
That's very me too. Like, I mean, I can't explain. I guess I don't have an idea in my head. I never thought about how being from Brooklyn influences my work. I think it influences me as an individual, like my personality and my mug face sometimes. You know, like I look like I'm ready to pick somebody up. You know what I mean? Like, it influences my personality, which in turn can, yes, if I think about it, it probably does have a lot to do with my work. But I don't do anything where you would look at my work and say, oh, she's from Brooklyn. You know, there's nothing that directly reflects the city of New York in my work. But I do love the city life. I do love the hustle and bustle. And some of my work does look like a city. Like, when I analyze some of my work, like Sun Goddess does, some pieces, they do look like, I think subconsciously I create it and I don't realize until it's done. And I'm like, oh, this is like a city, like some lights, or, you know, I recently did a piece called Gentrification of Brooklyn. And that was interesting. I didn't even see that coming. Like, I didn't see it coming. It was just like,
did it just hit while you were creating, or like did the title come first? Was it a piece that made it? What?
So with my work, I usually title it either in the middle, like very close to the end, or at the end. I never title in the beginning because I was saying yesterday in my live that I don't want to limit my piece by putting a name on it. I kind of wanted to create itself, and then I want to name it based on what it has given me, like what it has become. I don't want to call it, you know, Brooklyn, and then
You're forced and restricted. I
Pressure,
yeah.
pressure. It's like, it's like, what if, like you put a bar that made, it just feels awkward. So I'm like, you know what? It's more surprising to me. Like, I love that. I love that I created something and I'm like, oh, I'm going to call this gentrification of Brooklyn, because it's like, oh, it helps me understand what's in the back of my mind, because that's what's in the back of my mind. Like, what I'm making is in the back of my mind. So it helps me go, oh, I was thinking, and I am passionate about the gentrification in Brooklyn. I am annoyed that it happened. It does bother me. And it was so interesting that what I drew kind of reminded me of that. Like, these buildings I was drawing. And then as I started to get the idea in my head, I put maybe like something that represented blood. I was kind of, just moving in that direction, like towards the end. So I like to wait until the end to see what, comes out of my mind onto the paper or the canvas. And then I'm like, okay, this is where I'm going. This is where I'm going. Because in the beginning, to create the idea is very stressful for me. It makes me feel insecure. Like, it kind of gives me like an insecure feeling. Like, and I just feel like maybe I can't do that, or what
There's
if I?
theory in art education, whatever, right? That
Mm-hmm.
your hands respond to emotions first.
Oh yeah.
I totally get that. Like, so that makes sense. Is why it's in the back of your mind. It's coming through your hands, and if you let it go, especially in abstract, let it go, you can see and you can feel like kind of what's going on in the piece. And I noticed that even like I think yesterday's live, that you were in the middle of a piece. You was like, this is really speaking to me, and you put it down. It was like, I'm gonna come back to it, right?
Right.
I have done that.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, oh, when you get set on your mind that you're like, you want to finish a piece, how do
Right.
you like figure out ways to get back to it? Because sometimes I'll put a piece down and like months go by and I don't pick that thing back up.
Oh no, I could not do that.
You are the opposite.
No.
You're like, I need to get it down.
Yeah, like that's New York. That's New York. I think that's that underlying, like,
A little bit more
right
chill.
now. I don't know if that's just my personality, my DNA, or if it's just New York,
Mm-hmm.
or all three. Like, I feel like I give myself time, like 7. Okay, so I have had a few cover-ups that take a few days, because I'm just not, I don't know what to do yet. But a few days that's maybe 3 times, and it happened.
Wow.
Like a few times. Like, that doesn't happen very often. And that was a cover-up, because I'm dealing with the emotion of what's behind it and why I felt like covering it up. What I want to do, like, the fact that I covered something up is already an emotional thing for me, because I created something that I loved, and now I don't love it anymore, and I'm ready to create something. So now I'm dealing with that. That's bothering me, because I like, these pieces are like they're a part of me. So it's like, what are you trying to cover up? What's wrong? Like, what's wrong with you? Like, what's going on with you? You know what I'm saying? Like, something is going on with me. So it's very I feel very attached to my work spiritually, because it helps me analyze what's going on in my own life based on the moves that I make in my work.
Is it hard for pieces go? Like, if you had any pieces you were like, man, this one, it hit home, it helped me get through something, like, I'm not gonna let this one go. Do you have pieces like that?
Yeah, I do. Especially the ones, like, what really has surprised me about this is, like, when I make something and it's like complete, like, I have one piece called Judicial System, and when I was making it, I was just pushing through, because I wanted to say, I was just like, keep going. It was like, just keep going, don't stop. And then it was done. When it was done, it was like, it looked like a courtroom. Everything ended up looking like a courtroom, and it was like 2 men and a judge, and I'm just like, how in the hell did it turn into this? Like,
Your body knew before you did, for your brain. Yeah.
but I can't remember what I was reading. It might have been something with, like, probably something with the criminal system, or maybe something with Black Lives Matter. I can't recall what was going on at the time, but it was associated. That's one of my favorite pieces, because it was so powerful to me that I don't set intentions on them. There's no intention. It's like, I just go, and whatever I trust. That's how I learned how to trust myself, is by doing it over and over like that. Just not you know, like when I do this, I'm not thinking, oh, I'm gonna put this here. I'm gonna put, I don't. It's just go. Everything is like very present in the moment, as
That's
much
a
as possible.
way to like even think about life in general. I feel like your practice is influenced by how you.
Oh yeah, it's very important. It's very. That's why I call it my therapy. Not just my work. You know, it's like it helps me. I feel like function healthier, and I will do it forever. Like it's something that is a part of my life forever. Like forever.
I know you're a songwriter and singer, but do you ever write about your paintings afterwards, or you can tell the story? And when they're done, you're done.
I haven't written in a long time. Um, it's been a long time since I wrote. Maybe not, and to me, a long time is like maybe like almost a year.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I took a break from my music. I did like 2 live albums, and then I was like, okay, after this, I'm going to put it down. I'm gonna work on my podcast, and then I'm gonna do my painting. So I made a commitment to put the music down, not forever, but because I came to a point where um, I don't know if you probably could understand, like you're doing something in life and you committed to so I've been committed to my music for years, and it didn't necessarily go where I wanted it to go, right? So it's like, all right, you have to decide, like, do you keep doing this, or do you say, okay, I'm gonna do everything I want, and then I'm gonna say I'm gonna try something else. That was hard because it was like that was I was set, like, I'm gonna be so successful. I'm gonna write for
Yeah.
I'm gonna write for the whole music industry. I'm gonna be, you know. So when those dreams didn't happen, it was like, you know. So, but I'm grateful because I'm doing something else now. That if you would have asked me 2 years ago, would I've been doing this? No, I would have been like, no, you know. So it was like something inside of me was like, well, you can draw, you know, do it, and then you can paint, and then all right, then I started trying that, and then I was like, oh, this is okay, you know. I just kind of like went into it blindly, but the music is very separate from. I like to listen to music when I paint, but I don't combine my songwriting with my painting. Um, I just never thought to do it. It's like two arts worlds I don't mix.
I also, and I feel like even though teaching is not technically art, it is an art of a bit. And I did art for 1 year, teaching art, and I felt like this was just not
for you, right?
Not me. Like I need separate space. Yeah, so I'm like, I need those worlds to stay up. You know, like you have the 2 friend groups, like you can't mix those friend groups. They don't go together.
It's very unfortunate.
Yeah.
It's very unfortunate, but I think I've invested so much time in my music. I almost want to just take a break from it. Like I'm just like, I love you, music, but I've done everything that I could in my soul to make sure you go as far as possible. And then I just said, okay, I have to put it down and just deal with the reality that, okay, this is not going in the direction you want. It's okay to do something else. It's okay. Like, you're not giving up. You're not, you know, that's why I said I'm going to give everything. You know, I'll do a live album. Every squeeze every little anything idea I can think of. Music videos, whatever I can think of. And then I said, okay, I'm done. That's it. Like, I did everything. No one can say she didn't try. I tried, you know? And then I just said,
that's influenced or changed. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, it's okay. Go
when you're a person, do you think that like your idea of what your music career success has that impacted and shaped how you think you're going to be, what you think of success as an artist, like an abstract artist instead now, like a painter? What is that? How do you value? Because for me, I know when I first started painting for the public, because I've been painting by myself for years, for the public, I was like, I want to make it big. I want to have so many Instagram followers.
Right.
I would be selling $1,000 of paintings, and then when it didn't happen, I had to sit with myself and be like, is that really even a goal that you wanted? Because I'm more of an introvert. I don't need to be.
Me too.
Yeah, so I'm like, maybe having thousands of Instagram followers and people hounding you is not a good indicator of what success is for you. So my big question is like, so as an artist, how do you define what's successful for you, and then years from now, whatever, when you look back, how are you going to decide, like, all right, my career was successful and I felt good? Like, what are those going to be those indicators?
I